All right, guys. In this week's edition of Q Stories, a very special guest, Quentin's longtime friend Graham, coming to join the show to help tell this spooky story. Tyler and I haven't heard it yet. We're super excited about it because Quentin's really hyped it up the last few days.
Yeah, this one's pretty spectacular, man. It's honestly one of the most terrifying moments of my life, and I didn't feel like I could do it justice by telling this by myself. I had to bring Graham in. Graham, what's going on?
Oh man, I'm excited to tell this story. It's probably one of the most extreme paranormal instances in my life. Had a few of them, but this one was definitely the one that freaked me out the most.
Yeah. So, Graham, you want to lay down the backstory a little bit for us?
Yeah. So, just to kind of set the scene, Quentin's house we grew up in was built by his family, and it's on an old military base that's in a small town in Texas. So they used it during the Vietnam War. So it's been closed for so long. So spooky things happen at Quentin's house already. We've experienced some things, but this specific time was
Quentin living there
was definitely intense. So this was I don't know, 2014, 2015. We had just gotten our driver's license. We were 16 years old. I mean, we were.
No, this you mean like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. Oh wow. See,
yeah,
my time
completely off on years. Yeah,
y'all are so old.
We're
really old.
That aged me hard. But it was a crazy time for our lives. Anyway, so we're hanging out at his house. We're watching a movie, and kind of set the way Quentin's house is set up is in the front part is like the kitchen and the dining room area, and then a straight path back is their like TV room basically.
Let me tell you this: this house is in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah, middle of nowhere. I mean, we're 20 minutes outside of an already small town.
Was it in Mineral Wells?
Yes.
Yeah, Mineral Wells. Okay. Yeah, and my parents were gone, so it was just me and Graham.
Yeah, so we're home alone. And when you are standing in the front part of the house, you can look back and see to the movie room, which is like pretty much the other side of the house. And so I'm up at the front, I'm talking on the phone, and I hear this like banging on the front porch. And there's these two big glass windows that face outside to the front porch. And I'm standing pretty much right in front of them. Curtains are closed, and I hear this banging coming onto the porch, kind of like a table was getting lifted up and sat back down, lifted up and then sat back down. And so I was like, that's kind of weird. And I was like, hey, Quentin, do you know what this banging noise is? And we thought it was his dog, Nellie, his pug, if you haven't heard about her.
My cute ass pug.
Dang, she was around back then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was around. She's an old bitch.
Yeah, Nellie's an old one. So I look out the window, and her and their other dog, Dawson, are both sitting right there on the porch. And so I'm like, oh, okay, it's the dogs. Didn't think twice. Closed the curtain, went back to talking on the phone. Not even 30 seconds later, here it goes again. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what is going on? So I open up the curtain again, but this time Nellie and the dogs are out in the front yard, not even close to the porch. It's like no way they could have been making that noise. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And I was like, yo, Quentin, come up here. You need to check this out. Quentin, go ahead.
Yeah. And so I come up there, and I'm like, and I start hearing the noise too as soon as I get closer to Graham, and I'm like, what is that, right? And so we go up to the door, we pull it open, and we're like, there's nothing there. And so we're like, somebody's got to be messing with us. It's got to be one of our friends. It's got to be something like that, right? Because as soon as we close the door, we start hearing a knock at the back door, and we're like, what the hell is this? So we go to the back door, right? We get all the way up to the back door, still knocking, and we open the door, and it just stops. Nobody's there. Right? As soon as we close it, here's the knock at the front door again. And so this happens like 10 more times. Like we didn't go all the way up, and it got to the point where we'd be almost like halfway through the house, and then the knocks would change to the other side of the house. And there was like fences on each side, so you couldn't just run around the house and just keep knocking on doors and keep screwing with us like that, you know? And so, yeah. And
so y'all didn't think one stay at the front, one stay at the back?
Well, listen,
kind of.
At this point, we're a bit irrational because we're just like, what could be doing this? Like, is it the neighbor? Because he was about 2-3 years older than us. So definitely was like one of the high school kids that picked on you, and totally could have seen him doing this. Like,
Yeah.
totally could have seen him doing this. But I mean, there's no one, no sounds, no nothing, and we're in literally the middle of nowhere.
This house is haunted, all right, man. We've heard the stories. I heard the stories as a little kid. I witnessed things. I saw shadows. I've seen doors close, slam in front of me. All this stuff. I've had cups like slung off my nightstand. This is the house I grew up in. Yeah. And so we're already freaked out by this point. Like, and we're home alone, and we're like, all right, yeah, what are we gonna do, right? Because we get into the middle of the house, and we're just hearing this knocking, and the banging's just getting louder and louder and more intense, and so we kind of freak out, right? And Graeme, go ahead.
So we get to the point where we're like, all right, it's probably our buddy. You know what? We're going to mess with them. So we kind of waited up at the front to hear the knocking. And like, as soon as like first knock, because it would be like 2 or 3 knocks, like first knock hits, we're standing right by the front door with a BB gun, and Quentin's got a baseball bat because we were just going to pop him once and, fuck with them, right?
I also didn't know where my dad hid the actual weapons.
Yeah. Responsible gun owners, we used a BB gun. So we open up the door and nothing's there. I mean, literally nothing. One knock and open door, nothing's there. So we kind of get freaked out. And as soon as I go to close the door, I'm telling you, it felt like a 30, 40 mile an hour gust of wind just blew the door into me.
This thing knocks us back so hard, it knocks Graeme into me, and we both hit the wall straight behind us, and it knocks us straight on our ass.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I'm not kidding. It could have been a 30, 40 mile an hour gust of wind, which not in Texas, not at that time of the year. And so, I mean, we both like, I finally get the door kicked shut. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
So our hysterical asses were like, what the hell are we going to do now? We're like, oh shit. So our idea is we're going to open up this freaking door. We're going to take the hell off. We're going to hop in my car and we're going to town because we're not staying here tonight now.
Yeah. No way. No way I was staying in that house.
So we basically, we're lined up on the door again. We have the same weapons. Don't know why we didn't choose anything better. We were freaking out. And so we get on the door again and we open it and we just take off sprinting out to the car, right?
Didn't even close the door. Just took off. Boom.
So we didn't close the door. We get into the car and I'm in the front seat and I'm like, I turn on the car, I see the lights come on. I look at my front door. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't close my front door. My mom's gonna be pissed. Right. And out of nowhere, it just slammed shut right in front of us. And we're like, well, screw that. We're freaking out. And so we start driving to town and this craziness doesn't end there yet. So we go, the back road, right, Graham?
Yeah. So there's 2 ways you can get to Mineral Wells from Quentin's house. Now, mind you, like I said, we're like 20 minutes out in the middle of nowhere. To get to Quentin's house, you turn down a farm road, and then that's another 10-minute drive down a farm road to Quentin's house. I'm saying like BFE, nowhere. So there's 2 routes to go. There's a back route, which is kind of windy and cuts through some ranches that are back there, or you can take the route up to the highway, which takes you on the big loop. So it takes a little bit longer to get to town that way.
Well, to be honest, too, I don't know why we took that way because that way is spooky.
It is spookier. It is spookier, but it is quicker.
It is quicker. Yeah,
it is quicker to get to town. So we hit that back route, and I don't know, we're doing 25 around corners. We're hitting the straights at like 90 miles an hour, blowing. We are gone. And then literally all of a sudden, this giant light, I'm talking,
dude, huge.
I mean, huge. It looked like the sun was like literally right in front of us. Blows right in front of the windshield of the car at like Mach 2.
Yeah. Dude, it was the fastest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, and Quentin slams on the brakes. We are, what the, like, hell has just happened to us. Go back into it again. We finally get to Fuzzy's taco shop, which is a Texas thing.
The only thing open.
Yeah, literally the only thing open. We get to Fuzzy's taco shop. We're like, all right, we're chilling here until we can figure out what the hell we're doing tonight. Because the plan was to get drunk. The plan was to have a good time. The beer was left at the house. You know, we can't get any more.
You left the beer?
We left the beer, man.
Amateurs.
I should have gone back.
The thing is,
ghosts would have respected y'all for
you
that.
You couldn't have paid me to go back to that house that night.
No, dude. And the thing is,
did you ever go back to the house again?
Oh yeah, of course.
I had to spend the last 3 years of high school there.
No, I was talking to Graham.
Yeah.
Graham
I lived at Quentin's house.
Not literally lived there, but like he was there all the time.
Literally, yeah.
Basically enough.
Hanging out pretty much every day. He had a hot tub, a pool. His parents didn't care if we drank. His parents didn't really care what we did. We'd have our friends over. They just
other than the ghosts, girls, man, it was a cool time.
Maybe one or two.
We don't kiss and tell.
Yeah. I'm sure Quentin only had one or two girls.
I'm a modest fella.
Hey, my girlfriend Barney,
Barney Simpson over here.
But anyways, it was one of the most terrifying things ever. And I always tell this story to people, and I'm like, this made me 100% believe in ghosts, man. And I'm like, they're like, oh, you were high. And I was like, I wasn't high.
Nope.
I wish I was high. I wish that was a high experience.
It would have explained everything, but no. Unfortunately, I was sober.
Yeah, very unfortunately, I was sober and had to experience that. And I'm telling you, literally shaking. Like I get chills in my body just thinking about this story. So it was
an experience. It was definitely an experience.
Yeah, you can say that.
So, did y'all end up staying at a hotel, or did you go back to the house?
We ended up going back to my parents' house that night and just hanging out playing video games.
No other altercations?
Nope, the night was quiet. I mean, not that night.
Okay.
Now, Quentin's house, there was always something weird always going on at Quentin's house.
When your parents got home, did they say anything?
No, they didn't say nothing.
They didn't get home until like 2-3 in the morning. They were at the casino that night.
Yeah, they were gambling.
They drove up.
They could care less.
They drove up to Oklahoma. They drove up to Oklahoma to go gambling, so we were just hanging out. They were gone all night. And that happened probably at like 8:00 at night. It was just getting dark.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, not even like typical ghost story time. Like
it wasn't like midnight or anything like that. It was like the sun. Like you could still see daylight outside, but it was getting there.
So
dang. These ghosts getting bold out here.
Yeah, they got very, very bold. So yeah, in conclusion, Graham and I got thrown into a wall by a ghost.
Yep.
Wow.
And you saw possibly a UFO. I don't know what the light thing was.
Yeah. We don't know.
We don't know either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how
we don't know.
Did the ghosts team up with the aliens? Like, what the hell?
I guess.
Did y'all ever Google it to see?
I explain what I see, and that's all I can say. I can't call it a UFO. I don't know what it was, but man, let me tell you, that was some scary shit.
Yes.
I bet.
Yes, it was. Yeah. So, yeah, there you have it.
Wow. Another wild Q story. This one a little bit spookier. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sleep very well after this one.
Dude, it's raining at my house right now.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah,
You ain't sleeping at all.
Yep.
I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn on Criminal Minds after this, and
perfect show to watch.
Get some serial killer stuff going on.
There you go.
Put on The Strangers while you're at it.
Yeah, right.
Where should I go with Big Bang Theory, Tyler?
Anything else? Literally anything else. Worst possible show of all time.
It is the worst show.
Sorry, I take that back. Anything else besides those two?
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, jeez. So you just write down a list of laugh tracks and fake laughing. Interesting.
Yes.
Everybody loves
Maybe you should watch some Amy Schumer stand-up to get some more fake laughing.
No.
Oh,
Jesus.
Ooh, low blow.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That is true.
Which one?
Amy
Schumer.
Amy Schumer. Any of her movies or stand-up or talking?
No. I think I'll go with Everybody Loves Raymond. That's a good.
Hey, you don't want to watch her in Trainwreck with LeBron James?
Listening to
no.
Shoot, if you want to get as terrified as my story, go ahead and watch Trainwreck.
Oof.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
All right, guys. Well, we got a key story in there.